for that itch.
Rarely do I see any American Italians eating in here.
But I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Villkoret är att jag får leva.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Hey everyone, welcome to Real Genius. I am Chris Vognar, culture critic of the Dallas Morning News.
And I'm Robert Wilonsky, briefly Owen Wilson's classmate at Thomas Jefferson High School.
And you took driver's ed with him.
I did at St. Mark's. Yes,
We're here to talk about Robert's experiences with Owen Wilson. Actually, we're talking about Owen Wilson because he has a new movie that is out this week.
Which you've seen.
It is called No Escape. I did see it.
It sounds more like a threat than a movie title, by the way.
Yeah, it's kind of how I felt as I watched it. Let's watch a scene from that real quick.
Just get out of the way.
Yeah.
Get over to that roof.
What? No way.
Annie, listen to me. Over there, we have a chance.
Over there, we don't know if over there they're gonna be the same kind of people.
All I
Kids
know
over.
is we gotta keep putting 10 steps between us and them, okay? You're gonna jump first, and I'm gonna throw the kids over one at a time. Then I'm gonna follow, okay? Come on, you can do this.
Okay, how?
Come on,
How?
right? Go!
Yeah.
She can do it. Go, go.
Could I say something real quick?
Of course,
Can I have
Robert,
a question?
of course.
When I look at that clip, it looks like one of those fake movies inside movies about the movie business, starring famous actors. Like, you know, let's put Lake Bell and Owen Wilson in a thriller and put them in dire straits and have them. Meanwhile, the studio executives are watching this in a dimly lit room, smoking and laughing at it, going, I can't believe we're going to make this.
We could have shown the scene where Pierce Brosnan gives this geopolitical speech about how the Western powers are to blame for all the bad stuff going on in this unnamed Asian
Is that
country.
really in this movie?
That is in this movie.
That's seriously in this movie?
That is seriously in this movie. So this is Owen Wilson as action star, kind of a new look for him. I'm just going to say,
it's not,
I know
but
he's done a couple, but it's been like 15
Behind
years.
Enemy
That was
Lines.
15 years ago.
Was it that long
14
ago?
years ago.
Oh, God,
And
I'm so old.
And Shanghai Nights.
No, it's not action.
And
That's like saying Night at the Museum is an action movie.
Right. So this is more straight action. I'll say it's not a very good movie. The tone is very problematic.
Looks very xenophobic.
It's
I heard
it's
that's a knock on
basically
it.
like South Asian people killing everybody, including themselves and all the white people, and blonde Owen Wilson and nice, pretty Lake Bell and their adorable children running from the Asian people. That's kind of what happens in No Escape.
All right, so the reason we had an interview with him in the paper the other day
By Michael Granberry
talking about his father. Sort of one of the first, most personal interviews Owen's given in a while. But I've become obsessed with him. We don't have them here because they're not embeddable, but you'll put it with the item that's with this piece.
See what I can do.
I'm obsessed with the Owen Wilson supercuts that show him saying the same dialogue in 30 to 40 different movies.
Like, wow.
All ranging in style and tone and substance. Wow. Like, every line from every movie gets repeated in every other movie. And I've become obsessed with it to the point where there's actually a channel devoted entirely to making Owen Wilson supercuts. So that's why I said, hey, why don't we talk about Owen today, even though I haven't seen the movie. But certainly I have loved him ever since Driver's Ed. No. I have loved him ever since he sat with me at lunch at TJ. No. I have loved him
Before then.
ever since Bottle Rocket. It's still my favorite movie shot in Dallas.
I thought you were going to go kindergarten, like nursery
No,
school.
this is still my favorite movie ever made in Dallas, Bottle Rocket. It's still my favorite. It's my favorite Wes Anderson movie. I think it's the most naturalistic Wes Anderson movie.
And the first Wes Anderson.
And I think he's the best. I think he's fantastic in it. But let's look at the trailer for Bottle Rocket. Then we'll come back and talk a little bit about The Art of Owen.
Do it.
Preparation was good, you know. I think that's your specialty.
Thank you. Because if I said that one, it would sound like bragging. Obviously, good quickness.
Yeah, in and out pretty fast.
Real fast. Including the coin collection and the earrings.
You took the earrings, Dignan?
I bought the earrings for my mother on her birthday. Maybe we should have robbed your house. You ever think of that? 3 outstanding young men.
Well, come on, baby, and rock with me tonight.
Bob Mapplethorpe, potential getaway driver. Go.
I really want to be a part of this team. And I'm the only one with a car. That's good. That's good. because that hits me right here.
I'm Anthony. You speak English?
It's amazing how close you can get to a girl when you're not allowed to talk to her.
And my name's Dignan, man.
You in the army, yes?
No, I just had short hair.
And that was, of course, Owen's brother Luke, as well as the great Bob Musgrave as Bob Mapplethorpe.
Yes, and it's God, I love that movie. I'll watch it at any point that it's on, even though it doesn't have the scene that the trailer has of Bob Musgrave singing. Not in the movie.
So that's what started to launch young Mr. Wilson, and then he continued. I think his best work still is with Wes Anderson. I love the screenplays that he wrote with Anderson for this, for Rushmore, for Tenenbaums. In fact, those are among my favorite Wes Anderson films.
Right.
I've always felt like Hollywood either didn't quite know what to do with him, or he's not quite sure what kind of parts he wants to do. Because, I mean, I'll just say it, I don't think he's in a whole lot of good non-Wes Anderson movies.
What about Midnight in Paris?
He's really, what I liked about Midnight in Paris was
Woody
that
Allen
he
movie.
kind of brought this, you know, I consider him a California Texan. He's got the whole kind of surferish Texan thing going.
Right.
I really enjoyed him doing the East Coast Woody Allen mannerisms because it was so weird and novel. So yeah, I think Midnight in Paris is a little overrated, but I enjoyed him very much in that. I've enjoyed him in a lot of things. I just don't think he's been in a whole lot of good movies.
I ran into him. I haven't seen him very often, even though he's in Dallas quite a bit. But I ran into him at South by Southwest many years ago. I was with Kit Carson, who in fact produced Bottle Rocket.
You kind of got burned in that process.
Yeah,
Different
it's a whole different
episode.
episode of Real Genius. So I ran into Owen, and Owen got really pissed. And he said, "Hey man, I read what you wrote about me the other day in my review of, I believe it was Behind Enemy Lines." He said, "Why you wrote that I sound as if I'm delivering every line like I've just exhaled a bunch of weed." I said, "But that's what it sounds like. That's how you deliver a line, and that's your charm." But he took real offense at that, and I said, "First of all, I'm flattered you read the review." He said,
And you know who I am.
He said, "My mom cuts them out and sends them to me." I'm like, "Oh."
I've heard, yeah, I'll probably get some bad mail from the Wilsons now. Shout out to the Wilsons.
So, anyway, but that's always been my take on Owen, that he kind of does the same thing over and over and over in different variations and different shades. And that's not horrible. Most actors go through their careers kind of doing that. Most great actors do something a little different. But you look at Bottle Rocket, you look at, I don't know, it's Me and Marley, My Dog Marley.
Marley and Me.
Marley and Me, what the hell the name of that movie? Really, God bless
Not
you.
a dog owner.
You look at those Night at the Museum movies, you look at kind of his whole work, with the exception of Darjeeling. And I'm not a huge fan of that movie, but he's kind of extraordinary.
I got another one for you that
What?
we're leaving out. Inherent Vice came out last year.
Yeah, small part.
The Pynchon,
Yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson. But it's a small part, but he's perfect for it.
But he's playing a variation on the same
He is, but
guy.
he seems to be where he's working with a filmmaker who seems to know how to do something creative and fun with that same guy.
But isn't that inherent of isn't that true of any actor? It depends who you work with. Midnight in Paris is overrated, but Owen's good in it because he's doing something different, because Woody Allen knows what he's got and knows how to use it a little differently. Wes certainly knew what he had with his friend, with whom he did a lot of writing, and knew how to use it, knew how to craft it, and knew how to shape the thing we've got today. I think that's kind of what makes him great, is that when he's working with somebody who's really good, they get something kind of extraordinary out of him.
And I think something like that happened in The Wedding Crashers. That was kind of one of his big breakthrough moments. They were on the cover of Rolling Stone, him and Vince Vaughn. Really fun, very successful comedy. Let's take a look at the trailer for that movie.
This summer, two people will come together to celebrate the sanctity of marriage.
It's wedding season, kid. Weddings. We are going to have tons and tons of opportunities to meet gorgeous ladies that are so aroused by the thought of marriage that they'll throw their inhibitions to the wind.
And who's gonna be there to catch them?
Grab that net and catch that beautiful butterfly, pal.
Who are we this time?
Lou Epstein, I want you to meet Chuck Schwartz. Sanjay Collins.
Chuck Vindaloo.
Seamus O'Toole.
Bobby O'Shea.
I'm ready to get drunk.
Okay, so what angle are you gonna play here?
I'm gonna go with the balloon animal display.
I'm gonna dance with the little flower girl, or I might be a charter member of Oprah's book club.
It's all deadly.
Owen Wilson.
You know how they say we only use 10% of our brains? I think we only use 10% of our hearts.
Vince Vaughn.
Tattoo on the lower back. Might as well be a bullseye.
With Christopher Walken.
There's something about that partnership between those two actors that I think works really well because
in that movie, not in The Internship.
The Internship was pretty bad, but because Owen's got the whole laid back thing going, and Vince Vaughn is, hey, the beautiful babies, hey, what's da-da-da-da, tall drink of water.
You motorboating son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. I think they have a sort of yin and yang thing that's working out pretty well. So,
you know, it's funny. You think about how many franchises Owen has been part of. The movies with Jackie Chan, the Night at the Museum films. I mean, it's funny. He's a guy who's kind of carved out this really wonderful niche.
Zoolander 2 coming out.
Yeah, I mean, his relationship with Ben Stiller also has certainly been something I think it's sort of intriguing as well. I mean, he really has done what he set out to do, which is carve a... I mean, look, you need an Owen Wilson part, an Owen Wilson type. You go get Owen Wilson, because there ain't a lot of guys like that.
Yeah, you don't find the other Owen Wilson.
No, and that's the wonderful thing about him. He is uniquely Owen. And I think that's kind of the wonderful thing about him. He is very much like the guy that I vaguely knew in high school, the guy that all my friends who are still friends with him say that he is. He is just still that guy. And I think that's kind of extraordinary, and it's to be commended, but it goes back to what you said. I kind of wish that Owen would make that great movie. And there are great performances. I think Royal Tenenbaums, he is fantastic.
He is fantastic.
In Darjeeling, he's fantastic.
The scene where he walks off the Charlie Rose, the faux Charlie Rose set is amazing.
I mean, he has these moments where you are just blown away by what he can do with very little and how he does big things with not a lot. And I think that's wonderful.
I think he's a very creative, witty, off-center in a good way guy, and I would like to see the movies do more with that.
That's it.
And I would like to see him do more.
Especially as a guy who can write.
Especially as a guy who can write.
I think that's the thing. I always thought he would write more of his own stuff.
And I think I would love to see that, because I think he's probably got some more really good screenplays in him.
Me too. So, No Escape.
Yeah, I just can't recommend it. And I went in fairly open-minded.
But he's got the Bogdanovich movie too coming
Yeah,
out.
he does. He has that as well.
Which looks very much like a crazy romp.
Yeah. Bogdanovich's best days may be behind him.
Shocking. You know, Owen would have been great in the Last Picture Show.
You're right. He would, which is one of the all-time great Texas.
Right, but he'd have been great
movies.
in that. I think there's a movie like that somewhere in him.
He's sort of got that old soul thing about him.
I think he's got a McConaughey comeback thing welling up inside him. There's that part out there for him in the same way that McConaughey, beginning with Lincoln Lawyer through Dallas Buyers Club, sort of has that thing waiting for him.
The Wilson-assance, if you will. Or
Owen-assance.
The Owen-assance. That is our look at Dallas's own favorite son, Owen Wilson. Please come back next week.
What are we doing next week?
And see us again. I'm going to be in Venice next week. So
come back next week when I take off my clothes very, very slowly.
I might stay away from Venice for that, actually. See you soon.